Pappy's back this week. We had a little problem. We had us a fire. Luckily, it was outside. I was doing a project on the lawnmower, trying to get it to run, which I did. But the float bowl had stuck and it was dripping fuel. And I pulled the same thing that my mentor did years ago. I put a V8 in his Astro van and he drove it a couple of years, drove it around without the air cleaner. And the air cleaner got dirty and he cut a corner and tried to drive without the air cleaner on it. And it backfired, caught fire, and burned it to the ground. Luckily, the lawnmower was outside. I only have $200 in it. It caught fire and it could have burned to the ground. Luckily, I had a fire blanket which contained it enough off the fuel tank, and then I was able to get to my fire extinguisher and put it out. But you'll see in these pictures. But we'll continue this video. I got to get more parts for it anyway. I didn't have enough parts to do the job, but you know, I was just trying to cut a few corners and I paid for it. You got to take safety first, and I knew better. I've done this so many times, and I've even had friends do it. Like I said, my mentor burned his van to the ground. I can say I've never burned my car up, but never burned a house down, things like that, nothing major. But this one woke me up. You know, I knew better. I knew better, and I still did it anyway. I'm 65 years old, and I knew better. So I can't say that enough. Fire it spreads quick, especially with gasoline. Even when it's cold outside, the fumes will get you. And as you can see, I'll show it to you right now. And then it's going to be a short one this week, but I hope you learned something from my lessons so you don't make the same mistakes. All right. That carburetor dripping. Oh yeah, she's pouring out. Just I figured the float bowl's probably stuck. Or the float. Let's see if she'll crank. Well, that ain't good. Where's the blanket? It's getting out of hand. Well, that was exciting. I guess that's it for this week. Uh, I can show you what not to do. I should have never tried to cut corners, and it ended up costing me a mess. You know, I got to come up with some extra parts I wasn't going to have to. Mainly the vent hose and so forth. Carburetor probably needs to be replaced anyway. It didn't hurt yet, but other than buying a kit or just buy a cheap carburetor for it. because the float was leaking, and then it backfired on me. I should have never done that with the air cleaner off. I knew better. My old buddy Frank did the same thing to his van. Just thought that, been doing this for years. There again. Luckily, I had a fire extinguisher handy. I tried to use that fire blanket. That wasn't going to work. Couldn't get it over it. That's made for something flat, like kitchen stove or something. I picked the wrong thing, and I grabbed that fire extinguisher and it put it right out. But at least that thing draped over it, kind of smothered it down to where the fire extinguisher, I blew up under it and put it right out. So, I don't think I hurt the engine or anything. It just hurt my pride more than anything. I should have gone and bought hose and done it the right way. Hear me trying to cut corners, and didn't need to be doing that. As you can tell, you live and you learn. I'm 65. I'm still learning. But with that said, that's it for this week. It was exciting. Give me a thumbs up. We'll try to do it right the next time. I'm kind of like all the rest of the guys. I guess I'm an idiot. So don't do as I do. I'll show you what not to do here. But you might pick up a few good ideas of what you should do as well. All joking aside, that was dangerous. I'm glad I had it outside. At least I was smart enough to put it out there to try with it. But I should have never. Was smart enough to put the cap back on my fuel tank, but that carburetor leaking, I should have never hit that starter. I figured it would run a little bit and it would knock that float loose. That was stupid on my part. Should have never done it. All right, enough said. Until next week.